Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Acosta Show. And it's another day that ends in Y in the Epstein Gate cover up. Donald Trump is claiming he's all in for the vote in Congress this week to release the Epstein files. But I don't think a lot of people are buying that. At least I'm not. Trump can release the Epstein files right now. He can do this right now as we're speaking. He could have done this yesterday. He could have done this months ago, as he promised. Make no mistake. It appears at this point he is playing games on this. My big guest at the top of the hour is independent journalist Tara Palmeri, who has been one of the few leading reporters on Epstein in the world. And Tara, great work as always on all of this. That is the thing that everybody's talking about right now is that Trump has said, oh, no, you can go ahead and do it after months and months of delays and calling it a hoax. And so he even called it a hoax again today while he's indicating that he's okay with this. What are your thoughts on all this? Because, I mean, to me, this doesn't add up.
It's very strange. Why would they waste so much political capital on this story to then eventually cow down? I think he's playing catch up. I don't think he wanted it to go this way. I think he realizes this is what's going to happen. And I saw it last week. I'm sure you did too. Once you saw Don Bacon, Burchett, Stu, but like a handful of Republicans said that they were going to have to vote to release the files if it actually came down to the floor. It's just too tough to vote. I mean, very rarely do 90% of people agree on anything, like including that the earth is round. I mean, so right. They all realize that this is something that they are going to have to vote on. And President Trump, realizing that this is not a train he can stop, is following them, which shows that he's losing grip, I think, on his party. And also in his fight with Marjorie Trader Greene, as he likes to call her. When you look at X, if you want to stick your head in that cesspool, you notice that a lot of the followers of Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're really siding with her in this fight. And
they are.
Yeah. So I think they're starting to catch on that the online wars, that he's losing them right now. And I think that he knows that this is one. Now, here's another caveat. I always think, and you know this, having covered Washington for a really long time, that every bill goes to die in the Senate, right? Like that is a graveyard for bills. So what happens next? Yeah. But this is the Epstein story. I mean, this is not, this is not your typical bill. Can you really let it die? So we'll see what John Thune does. Does he put the bill on the floor by the end of the week and just get it over with? Now, once it hits Trump's desk, and say it's a veto-proof majority because he's given permission to the entire GOP to vote on it, basically, right? He said he'll release the files. He just said that. Even if he releases the files, does the DOJ actually release them in full, or does it redact a lot of it?
Right.
Because they're not very good at self-policing, as we know. And we already have a number of files on the FBI's website right now. They're just all black lines. So that's what I think. And that's why, as much as everyone's like, it's going to be a treasure trove, it's going to be Pandora's box, I worry that people are going to be disappointed in the level, what they consider to be sensitive information. And maybe
I agree. Let's play a little bit of Trump this afternoon. He was talking this afternoon in the Oval Office, and just so everybody's aware of this, his voice is very raspy in this video. I don't know why that is, but here's Trump being asked whether he's okay with the things that Tara just mentioned, which is, does he approve of this going through the Senate? Will you sign this? And then, have these files come out. Let's listen to this. We'll talk about it.
You urged House Republicans to vote in favor of this Epstein release bill they're going to vote on tomorrow. I just want to be super clear on your position. Do you want to see that pass the Senate? Would you sign that bill if it gets to your desk?
I do want to. Here's what I want. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. You look at this Reid Hoffman, you look at Larry Summers, Bill Clinton, they went to his island all the time, and many others. They're all Democrats. All I want for people to recognize the great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower.
Yeah, there's a lot of lying in there. What is your reaction? He does a little bit later on indicate, yes, he would sign it. They almost had to pull it out of him. So who knows, what he thinks he's answered yes to. But, that was not very clear cut to me. And he's still trying to point the fingers everywhere but himself, especially at Democratic figures.
I mean, Trump was a Democrat when he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. So, like, we all have to remember that.
Yeah, that's true.
Writing checks to Hillary Clinton and Chuck Schumer. And this is why Jeffrey Epstein could brag so much about the fact that he was friends with Donald Trump. I mean, he wasn't really a political guy until I think around 2000. Well, he's always been political. Like, he's always thought that he could run because of his, whatever you want to call it.
He flirted with the Reform Party back around 2000.
Yeah, he's fill in the blank, whatever it is about his personality that makes him think that he could lead people. But, you know, when did he really become a Republican? When he latched onto the birther movement, I would think.
Exactly.
Right? With the
and
Obama
then he came out and endorsed Romney in 2012. But yeah, that was in that time frame. Exactly. That's right.
Yeah. So let's remember that. And yeah, there's terrible things about Democrats in those files for sure, based on what we already know. Virginia Giuffre, what she said about Senator Bill Richardson, Senator Mitchell. I mean, she said that she was trafficked to them, and these are prominent Democratic senators, colleagues of former, President Joe Biden, which I've always wondered if that was part of the reason why the files never came forward, was because that even in Virginia's depositions alone, she had these really damning details about prominent Democrats, prominent Democratic donors. But at the same time, a lot of people who were Democrats, a part of the tech, like the tech Illuminati, the techno oligarchy, whatever you want to call them, Peter Thiel, the Sergey Brins, the that entire circle. I mean, they're all Republicans now. And even Elon Musk, like, he was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. You saw on the calendar, they said, well, Elon may come to the island. We're not sure. So everyone who was a Democrat then is now a Republican. So I don't really think it matters anymore.
Yeah, and Reid Hoffman put out a statement. We should point out, he tweet over the weekend that this is false, what's being said about him and so on. But Trump has been pointing the finger at him. He's been pointing the finger at Larry Summers. I mean, but it's kind of irrelevant, right, from the standpoint of the survivors, Tara, because they're not partisan in this. They want these files released. Yes. They want the truth to come out. They want justice. Doesn't matter if it's Democrats are in there, Republicans in there. And the other thing that Tara, you and I should talk about is the emails that came out last week. Not been able to do a show. You and I have not been able to do a show since that happened. But I saw your comments out there that this is not the files, that the emails are not the files. It's not the same thing. The files, there's a lot more in the files.
Yeah, I mean, some of these emails will probably be in the files because they would have been used in discovery for various cases. But the files are, I mean, way more expansive, as we know, 330 gigabytes apparently, and we've only gotten 1% of them so far. These are just emails from the estate. We're just putting pieces together based on Jeffrey Epstein's correspondence, not even during the period in which he was prosecuted. We don't even know why he got the sweetheart deal based on these files. And so we're just putting it all together right now. And
so what the Justice Department is holding back, what Trump is holding back, is a whole lot more. Could be pictures, could be videos.
Oh, definitely. Well, I know that from Virginia. I mean, she said that she was brought into the FBI's headquarters and that they showed her pictures of girls with men because everything was being recorded. She was asked to try to identify her body. She couldn't. There's video footage. Like, there are real files. And that was even in the pictures, like the New York Times, when they went in there and took pictures, you could see there were little cameras all over the house. This was his KGB tactic style. So I think everybody needs to understand that there's a lot in there. And that's why I'm very dubious about how much we're actually going to see from files. I've always been very dubious and suspicious of this. I think ultimately the truth comes out through a whistleblower, and then that person's going to have to like leave the country for a really long time, unfortunately, because
I agree with you. And then there's what Congressman Thomas Massie was saying over the weekend. He was saying that he doesn't buy what Trump is saying, no matter what he says, because, Trump has already ordered an investigation into Democratic figures by the Justice Department. Pam Bondi has apparently said that she's going to do this. And Thomas Massie was saying over the weekend on one of the Sunday talk shows that, well, they may not be able to open up the Epstein files if there are open investigations now into, let's say, Larry Summers or Bill Clinton or whatever.
Yeah, that's a very convenient way to close. You went from case closed, there are no third parties, to guess what? We're reopening it again based on some emails. It's all so shady. I mean, everybody in that Justice Department, how can anyone don't trust anyone in the Justice Department right now. You've got Pam Bondi running the place saying, I've got the Epstein files on my desk. Then months later, there are no Epstein files. There were no third parties. There was nothing. Case closed. It's all a figment of our imaginations. Okay. Yeah. And by the way, that's impossible. Like the depositions of the girls, which are publicly available even right now, show that there are other men that they accuse of being trafficked to. So it's like, you can't say that this is all some sort of figment of the imagination, unless you are saying that a witness testimony is not evidence. And in that case, you are literally saying that these people do not matter, that what they are saying is not applicable, it is not permissible. And that is what they have been saying. I mean, FBI Director Kash Patel admitted that he did not read witness testimony. Neither did Alex Acosta. None of these men care about what happened to these women. They do not care about their accounts. Their accounts are not valid, which shows you exactly how they think about this story, how they value sorry, Jim, it just gets me kind of worked up, but like,
no, me too.
How they value victims, how they value these women. It's the power imbalance. The Justice Department is supposed to be working for the people, but instead they are silencing them. And these women are just knocking on the door, begging. And now they're going back to Washington this week. They made this beautiful video.
We should play that video.
Matt,
we have the video. Let's play the video and let's talk about it. Because to me, this video is extraordinary.
I know.
I suffered so much pain.
So much pain.
So much pain.
I suffered so much pain. I was 14 years old.
I was 16 years old.
I was 16.
17.
14 years old.
This is me.
This was me.
This is me.
When I met Jeffrey Epstein.
This is me when I met Jeffrey Epstein.
There are about 1,000 of us.
It's time to bring the secrets out of the shadows. It's time to shine a light into the darkness.
Yeah, that's
Incredible.
And that is from Lisa Bryant, who was the producer of the Filthy Rich Epstein documentaries. I actually worked with her on the second one on Ghislaine Maxwell, since I've done a lot of reporting on Ghislaine. I have a podcast on her. Well, I have 2 podcasts, but one's on Jeffrey, the other one's on Ghislaine. And so, yeah, I'm really, really, really proud of them. I obviously know a lot of these survivors really well. Jenna, who was holding up, she's like visibly shaking. She was wearing the brown shirt.
Yeah.
Really looks young with the hoop earrings. I mean, when I first met her back in 2019, I mean, she struggled to like sit through a dinner with me. It was really hard for her. I don't think people understand how many of these women end up having drug problems, committing suicide, having severe mental problems after being trafficked so young. My heart broke for them. Courtney Wild came to his doorstep 14 braces on, and she, ended up spending all of the money that she won from a civil case with him, which was I don't know how many, maybe $1 million. She blew it, but on drugs to not feel. And then she ends up in prison. She's the one who ends up in actual prison, like a real prison, not a county jail, like what Epstein stated. And she fought from prison for the Crime Victims' Rights Act to fight to reverse that sweetheart deal, claiming that they were never notified of this Crime Victims' Rights Act, that they were never notified of the sweetheart deal, and therefore the case needed to be overturned. And it just breaks my heart that she spent more time in prison than Jeffrey Epstein, because the money, she said, made her feel like she was just being paid over and over and over again. It made her feel like she was a prostitute. And he offered her lawyers. He offered all these girls lawyers, telling them that they were the teenage prostitutes and that they needed representation, and he could help them. And a lot of them took the lawyers. God. Courtney did originally, because they were so young. They didn't know any better. They were groomed. They were manipulated. They had no home. They came from broken homes. And they had no self-esteem. They didn't even think they were worth fighting for. And it wasn't until Courtney read her best friend's deposition, who had brought her to Epstein's house, that she decided that she was going to fight, and she was going to make sure that he spent the rest of his life in jail. And she did it from behind bars. And now the Crime Victims' Rights Act, she was there with Nancy Pelosi when it was finally unveiled. And it was like a huge, I mean, when I see her, I'm like, I'm just so proud of her. I did a bunch of episodes just on her because her story is incredible. Some broken Jeffrey Epstein. But yeah, this is a podcast I did with Julie K. Brown and Adam McKay. And it's just, this is a really big moment for them. And I could see when I was there on the Hill, they were just like, they were glowing. They were so happy. They felt like they had some power again. And I think this is what the story is about, these women taking back power.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And the heartbreaking, I mean, there's so many heartbreaking parts of that video for such a short video is, they say I was 14, I was 15, and there was this Megyn Kelly thing last week where she was trying to redefine, what, I don't know what the hell she was doing, but there shouldn't even be a conversation about this. When girls are that young, I don't get that. I don't understand where that comes from. This like trying to justify or explain it away thing that people do. And she was trying to do it late last. I just thought it was
heinous. It really was. Jim, I made a video. It just like hit me really hard while I was working on a magazine piece too. And I had this, and I was writing, and I was going on these shows. And it just hit me. I was like, oh my God, when I worked on the Epstein podcast and the magazine pieces for it, I remembered listening to the voices of these girls talking to the detective Ricari. He was the Palm Beach detective who worked on this case relentlessly, by the way. And when I heard their voices, I was like, oh my God, these girls are so young. I have to get the audio of these voices and play them on my short, on my reel, wherever I can put it out so people can hear, so that they're not confused by what Megyn Kelly is saying. And I remember that one of the girls called his penis a wee-wee. Like, that is how young she was. They were, and so I put it out on a reel, and people really responded to it because I think that's what was so brilliant about that video, is that you see their faces, you hear their voices. You have to be reminded that yes, they're adult women now, but they were children then. And there are a lot of apologists out there for Jeffrey Epstein, believe it or not. And they say like these girls were teenage prostitutes. I mean, literally the crime that he pled guilty to was, I think the word teen and prostitute were the same. It was soliciting a 14-year-old for prostitution. Right. So as if a teen could be a prostitute. So it was just reinforcing over and over again that these girls were in the wrong, that they had done something wrong. And so I feel like it felt like it came over me. I'm like, I got to get this out there. I got to get the sound out. And honestly, Megyn Kelly should go listen to the sound. She should go listen to those girls' depositions. She should hear what they had to say, what they went through, and hear it in their voices as kids. They're like, there were girls there, and they're children. There's nothing sophisticated about them. There were a lot of them were poor girls. He created a pyramid scheme inside of a high school.
Right. Well, she wouldn't be talking that way, Megyn Kelly, if we were talking about somebody else besides Donald Trump.
Right.
And she's just doing this because, I mean, and maybe that is some of the good news that we're seeing, develop over the last, couple of days, which is he's just running out of real estate here. He's running out of runway on this. He's lost Marjorie Taylor Greene. He's attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene. They tried to bring in Lauren Boebert to the Situation Room, and that didn't work.
So that she could have her phone on. And how intimidating too, right? They're trying to look, it's like a shakedown.
It's a shakedown. And it didn't work. And now the word on the street is that it may be a near unanimous vote in the House of Representatives. I can't think of the last time anything was a near unanimous vote when it was something that was once this contentious. And, it's extraordinary to me. And I don't know how they can vote against it in the Senate either if it comes out of the House like gangbusters, which is the way it's going to look. It's going to look like a jailbreak.
No, and you know what? I did a big like investigation on Lisa Murkowski, the senator from
Right.
Alaska, yeah, and how she had this really tangled web of connections to Ghislaine Maxwell, and they spent a lot of time together. And she voted against releasing the Epstein files in September on the day that Charlie Kirk was murdered. Well, last night she made it clear that she'll be voting to release the files. So
Right.
this is a really big deal, everybody. And I think not, you know,
I think I'm going to go up there
right?
because I think they're going to be, some of these folks are going to be running scared. They're still going to be running from the cameras. It's going to be very interesting to observe the behavior up there, up on Capitol Hill, because there were a lot of Republicans who were just dead against this. They didn't want to, they didn't, they were going to line up behind Trump, and it fell apart. It fell apart for Donald Trump. And he's still freaking out. We have the video from, I think it was Friday evening, or was it Friday? Or maybe it was it might have been last night. He was still getting pissed. Yeah, it was he got pissed off at somebody Friday night. I posted that video. But this is last night. He freaks out at a reporter. I believe they're leaving Palm Beach, and he's being asked about Thomas Massey and what he's been saying about how, you know, this is, you know, they're still trying to play games over there. Listen to, he calls her fake news. Listen to the way he treats this reporter. He's still freaking out.
Massey says he's concerned that the Epstein probe you are calling for could be a smokescreen to block the release of more files. Is that the case?
Well, I don't want to talk about it because fake news like you're a terrible reporter, and fake news like you, they just keep bringing that up to deflect from the tremendous success of the Trump administration. So a guy like Massey, his poll numbers are showing he's at 6% approval rating right now. And we call him Rand Paul Jr. because he never votes for the Republican Party. So they're using Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection from the tremendous success that we're having as a party.
Yeah. I mean, Tara, to me, I know his behavior when he acts that way. He knows he's in trouble. It's not looking good, you know. And that's when he starts to flip out like that, call people fake news.
I mean, yes, you've been there. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And
so something's up. I mean, you and I did not talk about the emails last week. Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. No. I just feel like he's losing his grip. That's what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah. And what did you make of that 2011 email where, you know, Jeffrey Epstein is saying he was over at my house for hours with victim redacted? They alleged there were allegations that it was Virginia Giuffre. Until I see the email without the redaction there, I don't believe what anybody says. I just want to see it for myself. Yeah. But how does he spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house and there not be something untoward going on? It just seems to me, that email is just so damning.
Yeah, no, it's really something else. Especially because it wasn't exchanged to be one day dug up by a House Oversight Committee or to be revealed. These are just two people having a conversation, Bonnie and Clyde, casual, preparing, trying to collude actually about how to handle their own cases. And they're wondering, how did Donald Trump not get caught in all of this? So it's really something.
We'll see.
I think you can't be friends with someone for decades and not know what they're up to. It's like, yeah, we were in the same town together. He wasn't even a member this whole time. They've been saying he's a member of Mar-a-Lago.
Right. And then actually it says on one of these emails.
He wasn't. So they were so close. He didn't need a membership. I mean, what?
Right. Something does not make sense.
I don't believe anything that comes out of the White House because of the fact that I was told that there is literally no omerta on Jeffrey Epstein. And so they cannot ask him questions about it. Trump doesn't want to talk about it.
Interesting.
AIDS where they don't want to ask tough questions of Trump, how to respond to the press. So it's like, it's bullshit. It's a hoax. It's that, and then that's it. So I just don't believe any of the stories they make up. I just yeah, okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. And this thing that they're doing now where he says, oh yeah, I'm in favor of it. Go ahead and vote for it. This is his latest coping mechanism. The next coping mechanism would be completely different. He's just making this up as he goes along. It just seems to me, and he's going to keep flipping out. He's going to be kicking and screaming every step of the way. And that's why you just can't buy it, in my view, until there's a full release of the files. Tara Palmeri, as always. Oh, sorry. One last. Did you want to make one last comment?
No, I was just agreeing with you. This is it's insane. But thank you for having me, Jim. And I appreciate your dedication to the story. You've been really all over it. And it's
you too. No, not as much as you. I've just, to me, like, it's obvious he's hiding something. It's obvious they're hiding something. And you can't hide this. This is not something that should be hidden.
Yeah.
When it involves the president of the United States or really any powerful figure or anybody.
No.
And make sure to follow Tara's reporting on Substack, all of the socials. You have a very important Substack, Tara, and everybody needs to follow it. So we appreciate it as always.
Yours too. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tara. Great to see you. Really appreciate it.
That was another episode of the Tara Palmeri Show. If you like this show, please subscribe, rate it, share it with all your friends. If you want to support my independent journalism and get my exclusive reporting straight to your inbox, go to tarapalmeri.com. That's TARAPALMERI.com. Sign up for my newsletter, The Red Letter. That is how you keep me in business. I want to thank my producer, Eric Abinate, Abby Baker, who does my research and social media, and Adam Stewart on the graphics. See you again tomorrow.